we're recording. And let's go over these things you sent me. So
Okay, one second. This is the desktop, correct?
this is the desktop, yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so what I sent you is the outline of how a bulletin board would be set up. Now that's the second thing. Let's go to the first,
Okay,
first sample I sent you.
that's
Okay. So we have the parent folder is a bulletin board folder. And the profile, I guess, would be called bulletin board. And it keeps track of these fields: a title, a grade level, which is in the form of a drop-down, a subject, which is in the form of a drop-down, and then there are two text fields for keywords. One is for the content and one is for the graphic components. Then we have a field committed by, which is just to keep track of who actually committed it to the system, and then we have an optional field for notes. Okay, that's
and the rest
overall.
of these are required fields, right?
Yeah, all of these are required, actually.
Except optional is notes.
Except notes, right, right. Okay.
Okay.
Then within each bulletin board folder, we have three sub-components. One is simply a JPEG. We're calling this a bulletin board icon. So this keeps track of all the fields that the parent bulletin board has with the same exact values. So whatever the bulletin board title is, let's say the bulletin board title, the one I sent you was Hanukkah, right? Let's say the bulletin board is called Hanukkah Bulletin Board. This would be called Hanukkah BB Icon. The function of this is that, let's say we'll have a teacher who will come in and she'll be looking for a bulletin board. Now, I don't need, when I'm sitting and going through all the bulletin boards with her, I don't want to be going through all the Photoshop files or publisher files, or let's say we have a few versions. I just want one icon that this is what the bulletin board looks like approximately. When you want more information about it, we can go into the other folders that contain those bulletin board components. But this is like what we would show. You know, if we were making a catalog of all our bulletin boards, this is what we would put. Okay? So we have the BB icon, and then we have two other folders. One is called the flat prints folder, and it contains all the flat prints for the bulletin board. Now, the only field it keeps track of is its title, which is like I wrote here, it's a composite of the bulletin board title with the word flat print. So if this is a Hanukkah bulletin board, this would be Hanukkah bulletin board flat print.
Okay.
And then the same thing for components. A lot of times the bulletin board is made up of a lot of smaller pieces. So we have a folder called the Hanukkah bulletin board components, and this contains all the components for the bulletin board. And again, the only field it keeps track of is its title. Then within the flat print and component folders are the actual bulletin board files. So it's just three fields. First of all, we're keeping track of the file type. Are you a publisher, a PDF, a JPEG, a Photoshop, an InDesign, etc. Print size, which is also going to be a drop-down, but it's going to be optional because if it's a publisher file or if it's anything but a JPEG or a PDF, it's not really for printing. So we keep track of the print size, and instructions is optional. Sometimes we'll say, you know, print this on hard paper or print this on transparent paper or whatever. Okay, and then I sent you a zip file, but here's the information. I sent you a sample bulletin board that we could use, and then over here I wrote the goals. These are the questions that we have as far as searching goes. So number one, I need to be able to run a search based on various attributes of the bulletin board. For example, I want to be able to search 6th grade or upper elementary Hanukkah, or let's say one of the keywords was winter, so I want to be able to search 6th grade winter or whatever it is. However, whenever someone runs a search, a general search, I want that they should land up either with the icon.
What do you mean?
Meaning, let's say someone's going to run a search, right? I don't want them to land, I don't want the search to pull up either the components folder or the flat print folder. I want it to only open, the search should only pull up either the parent folder, which is Hanukkah bulletin board, or the bulletin board icon. I don't want to use it to land up inside the components folder.
Okay, so then the main thing to do there is to not have profiles on those individual items, because then if you're searching by those profile fields, then if that, so what I mean is that if we've got our drawers, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And but these as bulletin boards or whatever, and then here's our Hanukkah bulletin board. We'll make one of these for you guys while we do this. But if my profiles are on this folder, so this is where all my profiles are, and it's on my bulletin icon, it's here, but it's not on the other folders, or maybe some of it is on these folders, but it's not on individual items, then when I do a search, it's going to pull those top levels only. It's not going to pull all the individual items. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that does make sense. So you're saying that my flat prints folder and my components folder should not have a field called title. They should just, the folder should be called flat prints, and the other folder should be called components, but they should not have the profile of Hanukkah bulletin board attached to them. Is that correct?
Right. Or they could have the name. So they can have the name flat prints, like Hanukkah bulletin board flat prints.
Right.
Hanukkah bulletin board components as the actual name, but not necessarily need metadata.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay. That's fine. Don't do profile fields. Okay. And so that was the other item I wanted to ask you, which is, when I run a search, is it pulling up anything based on the name of the folder itself, or the name of the file itself, or only the metadata?
Well, it depends on how you do your search. In this search, you can program it a lot of different ways. If I click this little arrow over here, this is on desktop, right?
Okay.
This is different than cloud. So on desktop, I have it over here. Now, I created a profile where every field I've ever created, I have merged into this, so that just for demo reasons, really. So I can have it so that anything I type in here, whether it's name, whether it's profile information, whatever it is, it's in any profile without me being specific, it's going to pull it up. You guys probably don't want to do that. You probably want to go and say bulletin board, and then choose a couple of profile fields you're wanting. We'll do this in just a moment.
So let me clarify. When I search in when I search in this field here, this top thing, it's irrespective of which profile field. If I search by profile, then
right. Well, it's only irrespective if you do what I did and create a profile that includes every profile field you've ever used. And if you do that, if you pick that for your profile, then it's going to pull anything regardless of the profile. If you just take
so here's a much simpler solution.
The profile.
Yeah. So let's say I chose the profile bulletin board, then it wouldn't pull up any of the components folders because I'm only searching for items whose profile is bulletin board folder. Isn't that correct?
Correct. And I'll make this lighter so it's easier to see. Sorry, that was dark, and I figured you probably couldn't see it. Yeah, so if you pick the profile that is bulletin boards, or the profile that is posters, or whatever those profiles are, then there's your different options, and you can choose.
Right, but let's say I choose over here, bulletin board, and then I type things in this field over here. What does this field do? Will it only pull up things with this profile? Yeah.
When you say this, I don't know which this you're talking about, but you're talking about the one.
Sorry, I thought you see my mouse. You don't see my mouse?
I don't. Sorry.
Oh, I didn't realize that. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so I'm talking about the field on top.
Yeah, so if you do this profile and then you type stuff in here, it's going to look for anything that matches only for things with this profile. So if, for example,
perfect. So then it's never going to pull up my components because my components doesn't match this profile. My components is its own profile. A components folder is its own profile. Okay, perfect.
Okay. Although I still don't know if you need a separate. I don't know if your only field is title field. I don't know.
Right. Then you're right. Then it's right. Right, then it's not necessary, right?
It's just extra work. This will also pull by name. So your components is if this investment reports is investment reports bulletin board components, then I can also type that in here, right? I could type investment components bulletin. I don't even have to type.
And this does pull by name. It does pull by name.
It will pull by name if you want to do the name. So you can also choose containers as well. Well, that's where if you come to this if you come to your profile piece here, that's where you can narrow that down.
I got it. Okay, so in general, it will pull by name, right?
Yeah. So just really quickly, let's make a profile for you, and let's do that. So we're going to create, actually I'm going to close out. We'll just manage a profile. I'm going to create a new profile. This is just so you can see. So we're going to call this bulletins, right? We're going to call it a bulletins profile, and then let me see what else we've got. I'm going to move this onto another screen so I can see it. So we're going to have a title. So let's create a new one called title. And that's going to be, is that a text? That's text, right? Okay. And then we're going to do one that's called grade level.
And that's a drop down.
That's going to be a list. So first grade, second grade, third grade.
You can leave it like that. Yeah, that's okay for now.
Right, so it's easy and fast to put in. And then we're going to do a new one that's subject, right?
Right, and that's also going to be a drop down.
So science, math. You can give me any that you want to add.
Right, okay, that's fine. That's enough for now. Yes, history, good. That's great.
Whatever, right? You can see how quick it is to do this. Oh, I already have one. I probably created this for you, frankly.
Yeah, you probably did.
Let's scroll down to, you won't have that issue because you won't have already created it. Subject. Let's edit it. Yeah, I think I did for you. So we'll add that one. And also one more thing, if I edit this, I didn't do this before. And then what else do we have? Content keywords.
So that's a text field.
You want to click this required field if you want it required. Right. And then graphic keywords, that's also text. That's also text and notes. And this is optional. And
okay, you can change it to description if that's easier.
Okay. Okay, so there we go, right? And so now I've got bulletins. I can click OK. That's now created. You can see I've got a ton of these I've made just over time. And so now, if we want to create a new cabinet, are you going to have a cabinet that's bulletins, or are you going to have one main cabinet for everything?
One main cabinet for everything. It might have a sub cabinet or whatever, but let's just assume one main cabinet for everything.
Okay. So we can do that. And then, one second,
I lost you. What's going on there?
Do you see my screen? Did you click on anything by chance?
No, I didn't click on anything, but I see all of a sudden it says Microsoft Outlook. Is that on your screen or something?
That's on my screen. All right.
Okay, I don't know what's going on with that.
Hold on, give me just a second, and I'll clear that out.
Sure.
Okay. So we'll just name this, and we'll save it. Now you could also do security retention here, right? So if you want to have, you could do that. I'm not going to. I'm going to save it. And now we have this cabinet. Okay. Now, this is, before we get to the profiles, I just want to show you something really quick, which is that I can have, I can create templates. So if I want to manage templates, I want to right-click, add library. Did I spell that right?
Yeah.
And then I'm going to right-click. I'm going to say new template. We're going to say a folder. And what was that folder structure you were using? You just
it's called
flat prints and components, right?
Yeah. Okay, and really the name of the template is bulletin board. It's a parent folder.
Yes,
with these
that's
two
true.
inside.
Yep. Now you could also you can also add documents right here. So not documents, predefined names for common documents if you wanted to.
Well, that would be great. Show me how you would do that.
Okay, so I just click on this and I've got a document. Well, let me, first of all, I'm going to delete that folder. So under flat prints, I've got a predefined name. What do we want that predefined name to be? What's a
How about
common
not
document?
in flat prints? It would be in the general bulletin board folder, and it would be the common document that they're all going to have is, let's say, instructions.
Okay. So I'm just going to click outside so I don't have one of these highlighted, and just click Documents.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. Now I'm going to save. I'm going to call this Bulletin, right?
Yeah.
Save.
All
right, so now I have that template.
Right.
And it's active because I can deactivate it. Okay.
Right.
And say okay. And then I think my GoToMeeting is, tell me when you see my next screen.
No, I still see you. I see you with your frozen. Hold on. Move your mouse. Let me see if I see it moving.
Yeah,
no, you're frozen.
I'm on the next screen, and so as soon as you see that update, let me know.
Oh, okay. Now I see you. I see you.
Okay. So then the second step I need to do, this is a little different than the templates in EFCO. So I just need to activate my template. And so we come down to this one, and I push it over. I'm just going to tell it that it's active now. That means that now, if I add a drawer, and that drawer is called Bulletin, right?
Yeah.
And I can have, what did we call that other, what did I call that profile before?
You called it Bulletin. You called it Bulletin. It should be further up, no? Yeah, here, Bulletins.
There it is. So now I've got Bulletin. Now, I probably don't want to put a Bulletin profile on the drawer itself. Probably just on the, I'm guessing. Because then you're going to have...
Correct. It's not on the drawer. It's on the folder. Right.
So I'm not going to do a profile. I'm going to hit Save. And now I could add a drawer, a template, but we're not going to. So now we've got Bulletin, and then underneath my Bulletin, I'm going to add a folder. I spell that right? Hanukkah, and I can put...
No, to be a U. The second A should be a U.
I knew that was wrong.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, good, and we're doing the Bulletin's profile.
Right, so now I can, whatever this might be.
You can make it history.
Do what?
Okay, well, you could just fill these in with dummy values.
What would you put for keywords, for example?
So let's say for the keyword here, just put flames, let's say. Okay, and for here you could just put candle. I'm making these up, so it really doesn't matter. Put candle. committed by would be Miriam or Anna Maria, okay. And description, use this bulletin board with accompanying lesson plan or something.
Right? So now I save that.
Yeah. Okay.
Now I can also, on this, I can also apply a template.
Apply the template, correct.
Right? So now I'm going to apply. So I don't even have to create those subfolders. Right?
Excellent.
So now, if I bring in a document, let's bring in your document. It doesn't matter how I bring it in. I just want to show you this really fast. You're going to get this save box, which is a little different. I can bring in this document. Now I can push, this is pushing down the higher up one, right? So I can say no, for individual documents I'm not going to do a profile. Because I don't want to
but I would love it to push down the thing.
Well, it does do it automatically. It will push it down. If the folder has a profile on it, it'll push it down.
Oh, except then it's still going to be a bulletin profile, and I don't want that. Right. Okay.
Right. Right. So then you might go in and choose your other profile instead.
Right. Okay.
Right.
And and I see in the predefined name,
I can just click instructions and tell it to store. So all my predefined names are going to show up here.
Right.
Right.
Excellent.
If I want a predefined name under here, I would need to put those predefined names under those
in the
folders.
template. Right. Right. I get it.
So I can do this. I can say, no profile field, and take it and restore it. Now that document comes in. Now, if I have would we have a different profile for components?
No.
I mean,
these two really don't need. They really don't need profiles. That's the truth.
So I mean, really, if I come over here. And I want to search by, and you're gonna only have one cabinet highlighted, but I want to come in here and I want to say, let's search just by bulletins, and specifically by 3rd grade, right? Then it's only going to find this document.
Let's see what's it going to find. Both. So why is it pulling up the components and the flat prints also?
Because
we pushed down the profile.
Right.
And we shouldn't.
If you don't push down, if you don't push it down, because it did not, when I click on here, it did not push, it didn't bring in this instructions because there's no profile.
Right, correct. So can we edit those profiles just for the sake of having recorded the proper search? Let's edit those profiles to get rid of the
nope.
Yeah, no profile, and the same for the flat print.
You, of course, are not going to have as many ridiculously many profile fields as I have, right? So now when I do this 3rd grade search, and you could do the search in the advanced search as well, but this is the only thing that comes up now. So now when I double click on Hanukkah, now I can see all my other stuff, and I can go into the components or the flat prints and whatnot.
Okay. Now, can we do a practice search using, I sent you a JPEG, using the BBI?
Yeah, let me see. Which one did you send that JPEG on? I got 2 Word documents.
I sent it in that original. Oh, I'm sorry. I sent you a zip folder also. You know what? Take any, it doesn't matter. Take any JPEG that you have. I don't care what it's the JPEG is.
Every time I click on that second email, it crashes my Outlook. So there's something in that.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, it's a very large email.
And I think that's because I did eventually get it, and I think this is it, right?
Yeah. Okay, no, so go back. Go back to the parent folder. Go back, click that little arrow on top near Hanukkah bulletin board component. Yeah. Okay. You see I sent you Hanukkah BB icon? That. Can we download that?
I don't know if I can.
Not, it's fine. So you know what? Just use any. Do you have any JPEGs at all in your system?
Yeah, I do. I can get some.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Let's just.
I don't know why, or if it's a security thing, but it just won't let me. Like if I double click on it, I can't do anything with it.
Not a problem. So let's just use any JPEG that you have.
I'm just.
Oh no, I just looked the whole thing. Oh, okay.
No, you didn't. This is my desktop. You're fine.
Oh,
You're
okay.
still seeing it. I'm just going to a JPEG. Let's see. I've got to have a JPEG in here. I do. That's a JPEG. It's a really big JPEG.
Okay.
But
okay, that's fine.
So do you have a preference
so
on how I
use
bring it in?
No, totally not.
I mean, I can bring it in like this, or
yeah, that's fine.
I can. The only thing I don't, if you drag and drop it in, it'll bring it in. I can still choose a profile if I want. So let's go back to where do we want? Do we want to bring it into components or under Hanukkah?
No, it's under Hanukkah. It's under Hanukkah.
Okay. So when this comes in, I can come in and I can add that profile information. Do I want to do that on the JPEG?
Yeah, we want that the JPEG has all the bulletin board information. In fact, I would want to push down I would want to push down really all the information from the folder onto this JPEG.
Okay. So you can definitely do that. I would probably, if I were going to do that, I would bring it in just through my store function if I had it on my computer already. So if I go to desktop and I go back to my resources, I go down to my JPEG. Let's do it by type. So I pull in my JPEG. Then I get this full thing, and it'll push down everything here. Right? And so I have an infographic here, but I can also call it Hanukkah Bulletin. What else would it be?
We would call it BB icon, blackboard icon. So it would be called Hanukkah Bulletin Board BB. It would be called Hanukkah BB icon. Okay, whatever you call it is fine. Yeah, it would be just BB icon.
icon.
Icon,
BB.
yeah.
Sorry. Huh.
Perfect.
There we go.
Yeah.
Like that. Right? So same thing, third grade, history, whatever.
Yeah.
So now I store that. Now when I do the search, it's going to pull up this, and it's going to pull up my Hanukkah. Right?
Correct. Right.
So now I come into, I do my search. It saves my last search, right? So I'm still on third grade. I do the search. And hold on, we did something wrong.
Oh, it says no profile for some reason.
I'm just going to delete it. Let's bring it in and figure out what we did wrong. If I can make this mistake, I'm sure anyone else might too. So let's figure this out.
Okay.
If it doesn't work this time, there used to be a button where I could say push down profile. It may be it automatically. Otherwise, if this one doesn't go, we'll see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to refresh really fast, make sure we're.
Yeah, now you have the whole profile there. So now let's practice a search.
Now, yeah. So if I do my search, let's go back third grade, and there it is.
Okay, got it.
There we go.
Yeah, okay. Now, let's say we click on the JPEG. Let's say I would open that up, yeah?
Now, this is different than FCO. This is one of the things you wanted, which is that it's going to actually open it up in whatever native program you have. So this is a really big JPEG. It's like 8 pages long, as it's made for the internet. But there's my JPEG, right?
Right, okay.
So same thing. Let's bring in a Word document so I can just show you. When I close out of it, I could check it into the new version if I wanted to. I'm not going to. We didn't make any changes. But if I bring over your document really quick.
Okay, is there a way to open without checking out? Because I'm going to have two users who are going to want to open the same file, and if it's checked out, they're not going to be able to do that.
Not sort of. So I can preview it. I can preview my JPEG. If I actually opening it does check it out. They can also download it and have a copy of it that they can.
Okay, so show me how you would do that.
If you want to save it on your computer, I just hit Save As.
Okay.
And I'm going to close out of this extra one. And it just brings up my save folder, right? So if I want to go here, I want to save it. I forgot. I didn't click on my pre-filled name when I did that, so I saved it as hand BB icon, right? So now I save it. Now I move it. There's my icon right there.
Okay. And what about if someone else checked it out? Let's say a file is checked out. Could I still save it to my desktop?
Yeah, actually you can. So if I check this file out, this is now going to open. I get this lock on it.
Right.
So now it's checked out. I can still save as.
Save it. Excellent. Okay.
Right. And I can still open it. So now if I save it as hand and I minimize everything, now I've got that original Hanukkah and then I've got that hand that I just barely saved.
Right.
And I've still got it open, saved out, like if I were a different user.
Right, exactly. Okay, that's exactly what we need. Perfect. Okay, what else did I want to ask you? Okay, let's do some demo searches using the larger field on top and not the profile.
Okay.
I want to show you how you drill down with the search, like the Google search bar.
Okay, so let's see. We need to bring in some more files. And also, hold on, let me. Okay, hold on just a second, okay?
Sure. What?
Give me just a second. Sorry, my computer
Sure.
forgot about me. So give me just a moment.
Sure.
That's what I get for being out and not getting those updates done while I was gone. So hold on.
Not a problem.
Okay, what I'm going to do, because there's an update I need to do that I don't want to make you wait for.
Okay.
I'm going to really quick I'm sure I have Jared coming in onto the go-to meeting so that he can just show you just that search function, because the update I have is related to my search. And so my search is
Okay, not a problem.
a little while to run through it. And so Jared will show you that, more like that Google search where you can search by a bigger item and then narrow it down, and then.
Okay. Okay, so let me just ask you a question quickly first before we go then. How quickly can I get the desktop set up onto my computer so that I could start setting our system up?
I'll look at my implementation team's calendar, but probably within the next couple of days we could get you fit in so that they can get that.
Okay, fine.
And we'll want to do an appointment with the other office too, I'm assuming.
Okay.
And
yeah, but I don't think they're going to do theirs till like a few weeks from now. Is that okay?
The other thing too is that we need to look at the account, and we need to figure out specifically which licenses go with which office. And you guys need 2 server licenses instead of just 1 account.
Right.
So
so let's talk. Can we schedule that? Can we do this all on Thursday? The next time I'm in the office is Thursday morning.
Yeah, let me look at, and if I have multiple choices, I'll give you a call. I'm not going to get off right now, but I am going to have Jared. But I'll look at it. We can get that scheduled. You and I need to figure out, I'm going to need 2 separate emails for the 2 separate server licenses. So, your email is going to be for your location. I need to know what other email for the other location to move that.
Okay, got it. Right, okay. Okay, are we still recording? You could shut the recording already at this point. Oh, actually, we wanted to show them the Google search bar, right?
Yeah, so I'm going to share this with Jared really fast so he can,
Okay.
just because I haven't updated that search function. Sorry, I wish I could, delete that whole pause for the recording, but.
No, not a problem.
And I think Jared's just getting on, so.
Alrighty. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but okay, I see you also. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, perfect. Sorry about that. This is Jared, the engineer. So she wanted me to hop on and show you just quickly how we can narrow down search results and show you what all of that looks like, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So I've brought up a location here, and it's all relating to this character, Artemi Panarin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly type in maybe his first name, right? So I'll type in Artemi, and it'll show me anything that shows up underneath that particular information, whether it be, you know, the drawer, the folder that shows up underneath the drawer, or any of the sub-items that can show up underneath there. And of course, I can change that on, you know, a client basis or whatever I need to. Now I can type in even further, and I can type in Artemi and say I want to bring up that invoice under 3.23, right? So I'll type in invoice, and it will bring up that invoice right here.
Right.
So does that make
now,
sense
when you're
on how you can narrow down the search?
Yeah, that's pretty clear, but what I want to know is, can you narrow things down based on, when you're using that search bar, are you narrowing down based on profile information or just based on simple names?
Yeah, so I've been testing through this over the past little while. What it seems to be doing is this one does specifically locations and document names, so names of items. Now we have the option to go ahead and search by this. Yeah, this metadata is set up over here under the advanced search, which I can look for. Now, of course, I can go ahead and do right down here profiles, which is our metadata, and I can select what that metadata will be. So does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, okay, so that we saw before. I didn't even need to go into the advanced search for that. Anna Maria's screen had it, you know, all those profile fields right under that larger search bar.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, there is a flip side to it. The trick is that it can't actually search the name and the metadata at once. So I'll use Chicago here as an example, and I can type in Chicago up top. And it will show me anything that relates under Chicago, as you can see. So it's got that invoice that we were just looking at that has that in the metadata. So it's kind of it's either this or that kind of thing.
Meaning you couldn't write our whatever his name is, Artemi and Chicago together?
That's correct.
I'm just curious why.
Now,
like what?
I think you can, if I can interject, you can't write Artemi as in the name of this document above invoice is Artemi Panarin test, right? But you can choose within the, like on the metadata where you've got the billing address, you can choose one field on one metadata and a different field on a different metadata field and do that search.
What do you mean? Can you show me an example? No, I'm not sure I got that.
So, for example, we had that one thing called Hanukkah DB in icon, right?
Yeah.
And it also had like 3rd grade history poster, right? It had all the metadata plus the name. You could not search icon 3rd grade because icon is part of the naming convention and 3rd grade is part of the metadata. But you can
I get that. Right.
So I just wanted to interject because, yeah, you can go in and say, I want the third grade and I want to go anything history, because those are two separate fields in the profile field. And so you can pick if, so if it's only searching profile, you can search and narrow down by the profile fields.
Right. But now remember, we did, as a profile field over there, we did a title. So if the title was Hanukkah Bulletin Board, even though it can't search by the naming convention, but that was at Hanukkah Bulletin Board was actually the title. So I could have typed in Hanukkah Bulletin Board third grade. That would have worked.
Right. I'm going to test this really fast and just make sure. How many things did I bring into your Hanukkah?
Okay, I don't see your screen now. I still see.
No, I'm going to have to take it back. I think you saw what you needed to see on Jared's screen, right?
Yeah, I'm clearing it.
Okay, thanks,
Just
Jared.
how come he?
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, sir. How come
Absolutely.
he doesn't have under that large search bar what you had, the profile searching field?
Well, he didn't click on this arrow over here on the right-hand side. He had that arrow.
Yeah.
This arrow does the same thing as clicking on advanced search, which is what his preferences use, right?
Right, I get
so
it.
You can use that advanced search, or you can just click on the arrow and get the bigger metadata search.
Right.
Okay, so let's do this. Let's go back into, let me bring a document in really fast. And I am going to add metadata to it. So I'm going to say instead of third grade, we're going to say math. So we have something different.
Okay.
Okay, so now I have math here, and I have history here, right?
Right.
So let's just make sure, see if it'll work. So let's go to history and do a search. And it should not bring up the demo outline. Now my search is going to take a minute or two because it really, really needs to be updated. I'm going to close out of this. Oh, I need to delete that. That's what I was trying to do. Hold on, let me type this for a minute. He was playing with my search, and I went, now it's not doing any of what we were doing before, so I need to figure out what they, hold on, let me ask him. Okay, now let's try that again. I think just rebooting it. Okay, so it does work. So let me walk you. So I do the search for third grade. There's our 3 things. I narrow it down by math. There's our 1 thing. I narrow it down by history. There's the other 2 things. So as you do each of those, anything you add, it'll pull the items that only fit. But I can't, and I think you understand that. I don't think, I think what you were asking, because his word was in the title and that same word was in the metadata. So I think what he was trying to say was you can't use, you can't search Han and search third grade because you have a name and a metadata. And I think what you were asking is, I can't search Han that's listed in the title here and search third grade, and you can. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Right, okay, so let's, okay, yeah, perfect, that makes sense. Okay, I get it. So let's end the recording here.